name's John Femmer. Started school going to Catholic school. As time went on, I switched from going to Catholic school to a public school as I got older. I always kind of flirted with the idea of coming back to God, rekindling that relationship, but I never really made the commitment, made the step, and kind of moved forward with that until almost 9 months ago when I found out that my wife was pregnant. And at that time, I felt this very strong pull to kind of return to church. I reached out to my grandfather, and at that time, it felt like the right move. That's kind of where God was pulling me, and I started going to church with him. There was nothing crazy that happened. It was like an internal feeling in my brain, in my mind, that just kind of was pulling me towards that. And, that's how I view as God, pulling me, or you're guiding me in his light in that direction. I feel free. It may sound cliche or kind of weird, but I feel like colors are brighter. I feel like it's easier to feel happier. This guy has a podcast that I was listening to. He talked about how it's hard to feel anxiety and gratitude at the same time, that those are kind of the same receptors in the brain. And just, feeling the gratitude. I want to be as open as possible with my faith. And that way people can feel open to come with me with any questions that they have. If they're feeling dark, if there's any bad things going on inside their lives. As a new follower of Christ, it's my job, as a disciple, to try to spread the word of God. As I was reading through the Gospels, the biggest click in my brain for that moment was, whenever Judas showed up with the Roman guards to arrest Jesus. Right before then, he went out and prayed to God, and he came back and talked to the disciples a couple times. But the big thing was he was asking God to take this cup of suffering away from him. If he doesn't have to be the one, can it be someone else? Can it be any other way? And ultimately, it fell down to what was God's will, right? That is what is important, and that's what should be driving our lives.